Everybody, I wanted to come to you guys today with my AEW review. So let's talk about AEW. I thought AEW Dynamite was a pretty good show. I thought AEW overall was a pretty decent show. I enjoyed the matches. We had some great wrestling on AEW Dynamite. We had some really great matches. I liked the show. I thought AEW overall was a decent show. I enjoyed the show for what it was. We had some really great wrestling on the show for AEW Dynamite. We had some really great wrestling on this show. I enjoyed the matches on this show for AEW Dynamite. I thought AEW Dynamite was overall a fun to decent show. I thought AEW Dynamite was a decent show. I enjoyed it. We had some great wrestling on this show. I will not lie to you guys. We had some great wrestling on this show. Let's talk about the matches for AEW Dynamite. To start off, we had Okada versus Kyle Fletcher in a really good one-on-one men's match to start off AEW Dynamite. This was a very fun match between Okada and Kyle Fletcher tonight on AEW Dynamite. This was a very good one-on-one men's match between Okada and Kyle Fletcher on AEW Dynamite. This match was very good. This was a damn good one-on-one men's match between Okada and Kyle Fletcher to start off AEW Dynamite. These two men put on a really good match on AEW Dynamite. Very good match between Okada and Kyle Fletcher to start off AEW Dynamite. And Kyle Fletcher ended up picking up the win over Okada in a really damn good one-on-one men's match to start off AEW Dynamite. These two men put on a really good match. I mean, this was a fun one-on-one men's match between Kyle Fletcher and Okada to start off AEW Dynamite. And Kyle Fletcher ended up picking up the win over Okada to start off AEW Dynamite. And then we had a 2-on-2 women's tag team match with the Sisters of Sin versus the Babes of Wrath. This was a pretty good 2-on-2 women's tag team match on AEW Dynamite. This was a fun 2-on-2 women's tag team match tonight on AEW between the Sisters of Sin and the Babes of Wrath. This was probably the best match of the night in my opinion, with the Sisters of Sin versus the Babes of Wrath. This was probably the best match of the night in my opinion. This was a really good 2-on-2 women's tag team match between the Babes of Wrath and the Sisters of Sin. And the Babes of Wrath ended up picking up the win over the Sisters of Sin on AEW Dynamite in a really good 2-on-2 women's tag team match on AEW Dynamite. And then we had Jon Moxley versus Mascara Dorada in a one-on-one men's match. This was a pretty fun to decent one-on-one men's match between Jon Moxley and Mascara Dorada on AEW Dynamite. This was a pretty fun to decent one-on-one men's match, and Jon Moxley ended up picking up the win over Mascara Dorada on AEW Dynamite. This match was decent. I enjoyed it for what it was. Fun to decent match between Jon Moxley and Mascara Dorada on AEW Dynamite. Fun match, enjoyable. I enjoyed it for what it was. Jon Moxley ended up picking up the win over Mascara Dorada on AEW Dynamite. And then we had Kevin Knight versus Darby Allin in a one-on-one men's match. This was a pretty fun to decent one-on-one men's match on AEW Dynamite between Kevin Knight and Darby Allin. This was a really fun one-on-one men's match between Darby Allin and Kevin Knight on AEW Dynamite. Fun match. I enjoyed it. This was a fun match. It was a fun to decent match. And Kevin Knight ended up picking up the win over Darby Allin on AEW Dynamite in a pretty decent one-on-one men's match tonight on AEW Dynamite. And then we had the main event, which was Claudio versus Orange Cassidy. This was the main event for AEW Dynamite. This was a fairly decent to pretty good one-on-one men's match between Orange Cassidy and Claudio in the main event of AEW Dynamite. I enjoyed this match with Claudio and Orange Cassidy in the main event of AEW Dynamite. I really did enjoy it. And Claudio ends up picking up the win over Orange Cassidy in the main event of AEW Dynamite. This was a pretty fun one-on-one men's match between Claudio and Orange Cassidy in the main event of AEW Dynamite. And Claudio picked up the win over Orange Cassidy in the main event of AEW Dynamite. I'm going to give AEW Dynamite a 6 out of 10. I thought AEW was a decent show. There was some great wrestling on this show, no doubt. There was some great wrestling on this show, but it was just a decent show. I mean, there was really nothing that stood out. It was a decent show. It was fun, it was enjoyable. I will say that. It was an enjoyable show, but it was just decent to me. So I'm going to give AEW Dynamite a 6 out of 10. The best two matches of the night was the Babes of Wrath versus the Sisters of Sin in the one-on-one men's match between Kyle Fletcher and Okada. Those were the two best matches of the night on AEW Dynamite. And we had a backstage segment with Chris Statlander. Go back and watch that. Chris Statlander had a really, really awesome segment on AEW Dynamite. So go back and check that out on AEW Dynamite. We had a backstage segment with Chris Statlander. Go and check that out. So overall, I'm going to give AEW Dynamite a 6 out of 10. If you guys enjoy this AEW Dynamite review, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on that notification bell. Thank you guys for watching this AEW Dynamite review. I really appreciate it. And guys, tell me what you guys thought about AEW Dynamite down in the comment section below. And guys, also give me a rating for AEW Dynamite down in the comment section. I want to know what you guys are giving AEW Dynamite for a rating down in the comment section below. And I just want to say thank you guys for all your love and support you guys have been showing me on my wrestling reviews. I love doing these wrestling reviews for you guys. I love bringing these wrestling reviews to you guys. And anyway, guys, I will see you guys back here tonight for the AEW Collision review. Until then, you guys have a happy Thanksgiving. Stay safe, stay blessed. And I'll see you guys back here tonight for the AEW Collision review. You guys have a happy Thanksgiving. Stay blessed. Stay safe. Enjoy the time with your family. And your boy is out, man. Until tonight. Peace.